Good morning. Good morning for practice for the 7th of March. Thanks for tuning in. I kind of just disappeared over the weekend. I needed to. It's been a lot going on and I found out about unbelievably the death of another friend, which brings the total over the last 2 weeks to 4 people that I'm friends with who have passed on suddenly from various different complicated things. And I know I'm not the only one because when I look out there on social media, I see a lot of people are experiencing a lot of deaths. And so I just want to put out there that for those who are experiencing the death of a loved one right now or recently, we're dedicating this practice in part to you, especially to the family of Stacy. We chanted for Stacy last week as she was nearing her end, and she's now passed. I was alerted this morning, and I just would love for us to hold for Mary Beth and um, Stacy's family, her children, her mom, everybody who loves her. And we're also holding today for Ken. Ken has a a problematic condition, a necrotic condition in his thumb. And as of the last he and I communicated, he was headed to the ER this morning. So hoping that that can be resolved as painlessly as possible. He said it hurts a lot and he's really going through it. And Ken sometimes comes and chants with us. Some of you might recognize his name. So we're chanting for Ken today, and for Stacy and her loved ones, and for the loved ones of Charlene and Devin and Dana and Scott. Okay, got my cards. We're going to open our practice. So our prayers of motivation and the daily prayer for the manifestation as Tara. I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. I am here to radiate my loving compassion into the world. I am here to gather the skills and the power to bless and empower all. I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. I am here to radiate my loving compassion into the world. I am here to gather the skills and the power to bless and empower all. I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. I am here to radiate my loving compassion into the world. I am here to gather the skills and the power to bless and empower all. The fundamental nature of my mind is pure. Within me is an inexhaustible source of love, wisdom, and power. The purpose of all spiritual practice is to reveal and make contact with this. When ignorance is removed, unlimited wisdom, compassion, and power arise. It is the mind's conditioning that limits understanding of who I am and what I can become. I will cleanse my mind of faults and develop beneficial qualities. This removes obstacles to my path and creates beneficial conditions. Recognizing the interconnectedness of all, I will strive to be my best, to manifest my enlightened potential, ever dedicated to benefiting all beings. I will think, speak, and act as Tara. And today we are with Tara of Impeccable Virtue. Praise her, the one with a body of molten gold. Her hand is adorned with a blue lotus flower. Engaged in the six perfections, generous and virtuous, diligent and peaceful, patient and meditative. And if you like these prayers, you can get them. They are on the website Taradhatu. That's TARADHATU.org. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is different. I did a different practice. Just I said, I don't remember this part of practice from last year. I try to change it up every year to keep it fresh. And this year we are working with this book, and it's at taradhatu.org. And it's, I think, the prayers for the 21, prayers and practices for the 21 praises of Tara. And it's got so many wonderful prayers in it. And the cover looks like this. It's printed, kind of printed at home kind of a book. So if you go on to Taradhatu, you can get it as a download. Okay, so now let's draw our card. And we are working with the Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power Oracle today. Good morning, Gary. Thanks for coming. And good morning, Janie. And good morning, Caragwen. So, Buddha Wisdom, Shakti Power. Let's see what is our card for today. And this deck is by Laura Shanti, Santi. And you can find her work on Etsy. She's got some really wonderful prints of various different Hindu and Buddhist deities. And today we have the brilliant mind of Ushnisha Vijaya, goddess of long life. And our affirmation for today is the path of the intellect can yield a long life. So card number 13, and then I'll show you the picture. This is a gorgeous picture. The brilliant mind of Ushnisha Vijaya. Good morning, Margot. There we go. It's a very luminous card. She's in her mandala. In Buddhist practice, there is a puja or prayer to promote the health and happiness of the community. This painting illustrates a visualization central to this puja called the Queen of Great Bliss. The meditations, mantras, and prayers on gratefulness and The offerings to all the spirits and deities of the community eventually open a door, and there within is lovely Ushnisha Vijaya. But it takes a little work to meet her. First, you greet and give offerings to Vajravarahi, the red goddess of Kundalini energy. She's represented in this card by the red background. Once she is pleased, you can pass to the next level where you meet Green Tara. Green Tara is holding two blue lotus flowers sitting on a green lotus. You pay your respects, and then Green Tara melts away, and there, in her place, is the goddess of long life, Ushnisha Vijaya, whom we have come to meet, folded into the quiet center of these other two goddesses. Soon after attaining enlightenment, the Buddha manifested 32 major and 8 minor characteristics. One of these features was the Ushnisha, a cranial protuberance that served as a physical reminder of his heightened intelligence. Ushnisha Vijaya is the deification of this distinctive mark of the Buddha. Her name means victorious goddess of the Ushnisha and refers to her exceptional intelligence. Her mantra prayer eliminates the suffering that comes about when people follow the wrong path, turning away from what they know is really right. Ushnisha Vijaya is seated in meditation in the center of a green lotus, flanked by blue flowers to show that she is inside of Green Tara's heart. The drum on her left symbolizes the rhythm of the heart, drawing people and energy to the practice. Her curved knife on the right is used in the sky burial. One leg, like Green Tara's, extends outwards so that she can stand and take action at a moment's notice. Her right hand makes the gesture of offering, and her left hand holds a vase full of an elixir that grants long life. I see her elixir. I see the knife. Oh, and there's the drum up there. This is a really wonderful depiction. And I love how this card explains so clearly that in this tradition, the goddesses are sort of stacked inside one another. And there's kind of the manifest outer layer, the more worldly layer. There's the more kind of mythological layer. And then there's this sublime ultimate layer where life and death are one under the practice. And granting long life means an acknowledgement that death will come. You know, the ability to pray for long life, we only need to pray for long life because we're aware of how fragile life is actually and how suddenly death may come or how tragically it may come. You know, it's really difficult when you've gone through a lot of deaths to sort of, especially sudden ones of people who are all different ages, young, you know, vital, middle aged, as well as people who are at the end of their life. It's, you know, hard. It's really hard to try to wrap your mind around the concept of prayer for long life and what the usefulness is of it. It's easy to begin to think that practice is futile because suffering is so pervasive. But practice is powerful because suffering is so pervasive. And this weekend, I had a lot of soul work to do and a lot of just things I was really sitting with, painful things I was sitting with. And I kind of needed just to drop out. And in that, I ended up with like one day in sort of this liminal state. I wasn't really communicating with anyone. I wasn't really seeing people. I was just sort of in this liminal state and it kind of not answering any emails or phone calls or questions or anything. And in that liminal state, I had this feeling of peace. And I remembered that there is, even in the tragedy of sudden death, even in the tragedy of an illness or other circumstance that takes someone too young, there is still this peace at the end of suffering. And even for people who have lived nice long lives, enjoyed every minute, there's still peace at the end of life. So it's important for us to kind of remember that end of life is not something to fear, even as we pray for and work toward long life. And it's good for us to pray for and work toward long life, because the longer we're here in these bodies on earth, the more potential there is for us to do good for the world and all beings. And we want to have a nice long life and healthy one, so that we can be of maximum benefit in the world, developing ourselves and developing whatever it is that we're meant to help others with. But we also have to remember that um, death comes when it comes, and that when it comes, there's ease and relief. So the dichotomy in this card of the drum beating the heart and the knife that's used in the sky burial ceremony, where the body is dismantled and left for vultures to come and consume the remains on a mountaintop, the kind of two poles of existence, life and death, those two things coming together in the field of Ushnisha Vijaya, and the remembrance that there is wisdom to the entirety of the cycle, I think is our message today. So there is wisdom in life, and there is also wisdom in death. And there is something to be gained in life in terms of enlightenment and presence. And there's also something to be gained in death in terms of peace and relief from suffering. So when we pray for long life, pray for that life for the benefit of all beings. And when death comes, praying for a good death and a death in which we then experience peace, or that those we love and care about experience peace, is part of one seamless practice, not two separate ones. So I think that's everything I've got in me today. Let's now do our practice. We're going to start with 3 prostrations before the shrine. And let's recite the 4 immeasurables. Oh, no, we're going to start, actually, let's take refuge. I keep thinking we've taken refuge in the first part, but those are the preliminary prayers. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention today for Stacy's family, for also for Ken and his thumb, for all of those who have lost someone significant in the last few weeks during this somewhat brutal Pluto return in the US, and for anybody else who is struggling with that threshold of life and death. And now let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Guan Yin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Om Ahum. 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 Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guan Yin, remain until the end of samsaric existence, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa, calling out to Guan Yin, who is with us in all worlds, in the world of life and in the world of death. Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa. Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa. Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa, Namo Guan Shin Pusa. 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin 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 Pusa. And our brief practice for Tara, long life practice. Lume chosum chidang jetsunma galyum pakmadrome jintuyi daki sisu palchornya draknam yarnu dadang yarji sushindu kepar kache wantang lungtanam nyampa sushing chatu gawalong chije likpe lamdu drawadang setting neme dadang denjur shi. Through the blessing and power of the unfailing Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and of Jetsunma, mother of the Buddha's noble Tara, may our lifespan, merit, prosperity, and renown increase like a waxing moon, like a rising summer lake. Especially may our good fortune, Wangtong and Windhorse, be healed when they weaken, rejoined when interrupted, and raised up when sinking down. May whatever we do turn out well, and may good health, long life, peace, and happiness be ours. Lume chosum chidang jetsun ma galyum pagma drome jintu yi daki sisu pajornya dratnam yarnu dadang yarji sushindu kepar kaje wantang lungtanam nyampa sushing chatu gawalong chije lekpe lamdu drawadang sering neme dadang denjur shi. And now 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum for all those who are in need of it at that threshold of life and death. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lamadechin Yeshiwangmo. Swastiak. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of Supreme Bliss, Yeshiwangmo, be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin and Tara in our hearts. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha Namo Guanxian Pusa. And we close with bow to Guanyin, bow to one another, and a bow to the inner teacher. And wishing you a wonderful day. Many, many hugs to everybody today.